All right. Well, I think we have, with 3 voting members present, we have enough to start a meeting, the quorum, and we'll catch Sean up to speed when he's able to join. But with that, I did want to just throw up the agenda for today, and we can go through and start meeting. All right. What we'll look at first today is just a review of the minutes. This packet is online, and then also I think each one of you got that. We do have some claims approval later in our meeting today as well. Moving on to and I guess our first order of business is review and approval of the minutes from our last meeting. So has everybody had a chance to look at those, or is there any questions regarding that, or should we take a few minutes?
I've had a chance to review them and I don't have any questions.
Great. And I see Sean just joined us. Sean, I'd introduced Peter Iverson earlier. Peter is replacing Kate Wiltz's role on the commission moving forward. So
Awesome.
It's good to have him on the team.
Yeah, welcome.
And then Sean, did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe for Peter's benefit there?
I probably like whatever Natalie said, that we're a couple old timers here in town, and we've just been at the hotel business for a long time, and I've been at multiple hotels here in town, and I'm currently the director of sales for Bloom Hotels, which has 3 hotels, the Super 8, the Quality Inn, and La Quinta.
We don't use, and Natalie did not use the word old timers. We do want to use the word experienced.
Those guys are old timers. I'm seasoned.
Seasoned is
Okay,
fine. It's a little questionable. We'll go with experienced for the record, Marcia.
there you go.
I got noted.
Okay. All right. And so we were just reviewing minutes. Any questions or comments on the minutes from our last meeting?
I move for approval.
Who was that?
Sean?
Oh,
So there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second.
roll
Marcia,
call.
would you move us to a roll call?
Campbell,
Yes.
Hanlon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Great. Moving forward. Okay, so next thing is our financial reports. So in the packet, it has, and if you're trying to follow along, sorry for making you dizzy, it does have the December end of the year financial, the January, and then our most recent one, February 28th. If there are any questions, we can answer those, but I did just want to run through the February 28th just to give you the most current balances. So you can see we are transferring funds from the general account into our debt service and our capital improvement maintenance fund, both. Again, we had suspended some of that last year at times, but we're at a point where we're able to start refunding those 2 funds from the general account. That being said, our general balance today is $1.271015.78 in the general fund. And I do believe we have claims that would be made against that today. And the balance should be sufficient to cover those claims. In the capital improvement fund, we have not had a claim this year so far, as this is our first meeting. Go figure. And the current balance is $193,004.88. And then we will be making a claim today against the Convention Center Debt Fund. And that current balance is $362 $362,754.45 as enumerated on the financial report. You can see up at the top, in the top left corner, the tax receipts that have come in for the month of February. That's enumerated here, the $103,195 dollar amount, which corresponds with, and for those of you who are about to have to turn to the right briefly, and then we'll see if we can get this. There we go. And you can see where the innkeeper's tax collections are for the year. You can see December's, which is after our last meeting, this number went finalized, came in very high at the end of the year, more so than we had anticipated. And sometimes that happens with the way the calendar lands and with when those tax receipts gets put into the fund. That being the case, we ended the year at 2.6 million in innkeeper's tax receipt, which is pretty well on par. If you can look and see back in 2017, we had a similar number. So it's a drastic recovery, $1 million more collected than we did in 2020, for 2021. In the last 4 or 5 months were very strong as far as tax collections go. January as well was a good tax collection month. February is down slightly, but we do believe that's in large part due to a timing issue where about $78,000, I think, came in after the deadline for filing to hit this financial report. So that should be represented in the month of March, in addition to collections that would come in that case. So we're doing much better than we have in the last year or two, that's for sure. And I do think we're on pace to hit our forecasted numbers and potentially exceed those, hopefully so. Any questions on the financial statements or innkeeper's tax? Okay. If there are no questions or comments on those, then would there be a motion to approve the financial statements as presented?
Motion.
A motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Sean, thank you. Marcia, would you move us to a roll call vote, please?
Campbell,
Yes.
Hanlon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Great. Financial reports are approved. Next item on our agenda is the Visit Bloomington report. So Mike, I'm going to stop sharing and let you take it away so everybody can see you full screen. Oh, but you do need to turn on the microphone. As entertaining as this is, it might be helpful.
It's my first time on Zoom, so thanks for reminding me. I have to turn
You're
it
welcome.
on.
You're welcome. I'm here to help.
Yeah. Hey, can you let me share my screen?
Believe so. Addison, could you do that and let Mike do that? Do you not have a button, Mike?
I do. Hold on.
Okay.
There. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
My report. Okay. Mike, I feel like I saw a little bit of my report in your report, like you were using a document of mine.
It was
Yeah.
actually one that was part of the packet that went out, and I was flipping through it.
I saw it. I'm not going to spend very much time on this. Just to let you know, we did get our 2020 economic impact report. 2020, it takes them a year to do it. So we always get it right at the beginning of the following year. It's an Indiana State Co-op done by a firm called Rockport Analytics. They use the M-Plan economic impact model. I just pasted a couple of pages in here. You can find it on our website. I know I've sent everybody the link for it as well if you want to see it. It isn't really anything you want to spend a great deal of time looking at it. You kind of know the story. It's exactly what we knew happened in 2020. So I'm not going to go, obviously those numbers are way down and all of that, but it does give you some quantifiable numbers like, being able to say we lost 2,085 tourism jobs between 2019 and 2020 in Monroe County. Here's the report that shows it. That's what this is good about. Again, looking at these decreases, lodging expenditures were down 49% in the market, food and beverage 30%, that type of stuff. On that same page, on our impact page, we do have our 21 community tourism report. I've got it written. I'm just waiting to have our graphic designer be able to design it. I'll have it up by the end of first quarter, so by the end of March. Just backing up what Mike was talking about on how strong the market is doing. You can just see this chart right, or these numbers. Hotel room demand, that's actual hotel rooms bought or sold or consumed in the market. You can see so far, this is through about the week of February 20th. You can see we are, obviously way ahead of 21, which we knew we would be, but we're getting back to those 2020 and 2019 numbers. And again, as you can see by the chart below, those are about to fall off the cliff, 2020 and 2019. Well, not 2019, but 2020 is, because that's when the pandemic really hit. And you can see that gray line just falling off the cliff. And the blue one there, that's 2022, is going to keep rising. And it's going to go, we're going to have that little lull like we do every year at the beginning of March, but then it's going to pick back up and we're going to be right at that yellow line levels and probably above it. That's what we're forecasting on out through the year. But just remember, our numbers are going to look really strong in the next few months when we start comparing to 2020 and 2021, because that's really when we were in the height of the pandemic. I did want to put this on there. Obviously, rate is a big deal in our market to our hoteliers. When the pandemic hit, rate fell out, and it's important to build rate back up. It takes a while to do that. Valentine's Day is always a big indicator of how strong rate is in the market. You can see I put a 4-year trend in there. Obviously, Valentine's Day falls on a different day every year. You can see what the rate was in the height of the pandemic there in 2020. On a Friday night, on a normal Friday night, that rate would be 180 or something like that. But again, 2022 on a Monday night, we were almost back to 2019 levels pre-pandemic when it was on a Thursday night. I get numbers for about 10 competitive markets. I threw Indianapolis and Iowa City in there so you can see what they did too on those nights. Short-term rental revenue, again, a big reason for that strong innkeeper's tax is because Airbnb and short-term rentals are continuing to be very strong and grow in the market. You can just see January of 22, and that's just me looking at what the state publishes for innkeeper's tax collected, that they collect, because they do collect from all the short-term platforms. 685,000 in revenue in the market for short-term rentals in January of 22 versus 416,000 in January of 2020. So again, huge growth there. Food and beverage revenue in the market. Again, that's just me doing the math from the food and beverage tax collections, but you can see 2022 is way above, January was way above 2019 by $3 million. I do want to always stress that don't think for a second that because those numbers, those food and beverage numbers are so strong that means that our fantastic culinary scene, independent restaurant scene is fully recovered and doing great, because they're not. This is a lot of fast food. It's a lot of to-go. It's a lot of pizza. They're still really challenged by labor issues. They're all having to adapt their opening hours and things like that. So there's a long way to go in that recovery, but we are lucky we're doing really well in the big scheme of things. Quick convention marketing update. I just can't say it enough how excited we are about the future. We've got a great sales rep. Sean Ballard started with us at the end of 2021. He moved here from Kalamazoo, Michigan. He has experience in selling convention and visitor bureaus for groups. He also has great university work experience. He's been working closely with Laura Newton, who's on the line with us, our assistant director, has done a great job of training him and getting up to speed and working with him. But he's already been to 2 trade shows, one in Chicago and one in Sacramento. We've got 7 more on the books for this year. He's made sales calls in Indianapolis. He's been and visited French Lick, Brown County. He's coming up, getting ready to go to Cincinnati, Louisville, Terre Haute, Evansville, and Fort Wayne. We've already generated 6 group leads this year. Very encouraging to listen to meeting planners. They are looking for dates and facilities, especially in Monroe County. It's very challenging, as we know it will be. It continues to be a challenge. Demand for our expansion is definitely there. Business travel continues to recover. I was just reading an article with the president of Marriott Corporation, just talking about how their big group business is coming back quicker than corporate travel, which they weren't expecting. So again, just trying to find dates and facilities for the groups that want to come here in Monroe County is a great challenge, and we continue to have it. But I do want to give confidence to everyone that as hopefully we get close to talking about this expansion again soon, the business demand is still there for us. It's never gone away, and it's not going to go anywhere until we can meet it. Same thing goes with sports. Again, as I get into sports, track and field has been making a big impact on weekends in the market. You're seeing those buses every weekend at Gladstone. There's 500 to 1,000 athletes competing. They're everywhere. We've got state basketball championships coming up. That's like club sports or homeschool teams compete at Twin Lakes and a couple other facilities around the county coming up spring break week. We've already got over 500 room nights booked off of that. IU swimming and diving coming up in May is going to be a huge piece of business for this market. Again, sports keeps doing their things. Pete's got a full schedule of trade shows as well. As always, we just work to find those events that fit our open dates and the facilities that we have where they can be. We continue to be challenged by that. But again, it's a challenge. It's a good challenge that we have for our market.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
on that, is that IU track and field and IU swimming and diving, or is that US?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is?
Mhm.
Okay. I know we work with both. I just wanted to make sure that was IU.
Yeah, I mean, most of the swimming and diving and track and field are who we work with. We do work with IHSAA on hosting the state track meet on campus as well, but that's very that's very built in as an event. We continue to, it's important to the market. It's an event we continue to bring, and we want them to keep coming back. Leisure marketing off to a good start. Our sessions on our website are up 104% versus last year. Again, we expected that, up 3% versus 2020. We just launched our spring campaign this week. We're running digital ads all over on the internet, radio, print, outdoor, doing partnerships with IU sports properties, all kinds of contests on our website. PR efforts, I think I shared with everybody, we just got that great Forbes article written about our culinary scene. Aaron's working with National Geographic, is working on a feature article on Monroe County on mushroom hunting. That'll appear sometime in the next year. That is the National Geographic publication is going to run an article about mushroom hunting in Monroe County, Indiana. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, we'll take
Just all kinds of great stuff with that, with our PR efforts. And one thing under there too is we just purchased a new research tool. It's basically cell phone tracking. Going to be an amazing tool for us, where we're going to be able to zero in on events and certain geographical places within the community for when they're having stuff go on, and track cell phones that are there and where people are coming from and where they go when they're in the market, how much money they're spending, all that kind of stuff. It's scary, but it's also a great tool that we're looking forward to utilizing. And all this being said, just wanted to throw this out there. Tentatively scheduling, again, I don't take it for granted that we're out of the pandemic. Obviously, we're in a we hope this trend of seeing these good numbers continues to where we do see some stability with that. But it is time for us to update our strategic plan. Been kind of sitting on hold for a couple of years. Tentatively scheduling that for Wednesday, April 20th. There's a lot of stuff already happening in April with just this type of stuff. So I'll work with everybody to make sure that date works and have a web component to that if people aren't able to spend an afternoon with us doing that. But key topics it's not going to be anything revolutionary there. Convention center, special events that we work on, attraction development and growth, that type of stuff. Happy to answer any questions. Off to a good start for this year for sure.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mike or Laura or the Visit Bloomington team? Mike, as always, appreciate the data. I will tell you, I used the Forbes article in a recruiting thing for a candidate we were trying to land here at the IMU. And they were wanting to know, are all we going to get is burgers and cheese in Bloomington if they move here? And so it was good to be able to point them to a nationally recognized publication that points to something far different. So
What do they think, we're in Wisconsin or something?
I don't, well, they were from California. So, all us Midwesterners are alike, just like, there's a stereotype about all Californians. I'm sure the same way, back and forth. So, hey, Peter, what you got?
Yeah, I just real quick question, as we're doing a lot of reviews at the county level about the pandemic, and I loved your report. And one of the things that we're really interested in right now is working with our health department to do a strategic review. And it sounds like you guys are doing that too. And what keeps coming up from what we're hearing is this impact, or the impact is really important, but economic resiliency. And how do we build that in? How do we bake that into what we're doing? And it seems like you all have done a good job. So I know you sent out your impact report, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you're always welcome at the county council to present that data.
I reached out to Kate yesterday, Peter, for Talisha and I, and said we would love to, again, as I don't think it's any secret, the convention center discussion is coming up. It is happening. It is starting to happen. And I reached out yesterday and said that Talisha and I would love to come in and present to the council just about what's happening in the industry and just make you all feel comfortable that it really is truly coming back, and there's a big demand for groups and all that type of stuff, and just what's happening in the future.
Well, and I don't want to jump the gun too much for what Mike's going to say, but Eric Spoonmore is going to be at our meeting on Tuesday. He's at the top of our agenda to speak about the convention center. So you all are welcome to attend. That will be in person, actually, in the courthouse. So stop on by and let us know what you think about it.
Hey, I got to just put a plug in, a shout out for Eric and what he's doing so far at the chamber. And Aaron did too, but just Eric has really hit the ground running this year and is taking on the convention center project of trying to be a middle person in that. And that's great. So happy with that.
Okay. Any other questions for Visit Bloomington? Okay, well, Jean, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Is my sound okay? My volume okay?
Can I interrupt just a second because I can't stay in the meeting? I'm very interested. I just got in from another meeting and I'm out the door again. So hopefully somebody will be able to send us or show us a copy of this recording.
I think actually it is recorded both on CATS and
Okay,
should be
great.
available on the Monroe County website, Marty.
Great. I'm sorry to miss any of it.
No,
I am trying to watch what's going on at the state and hopefully that'll just go away, at least the portion that could hurt us, but
Great.
we're all working on it. So hopefully.
okay. Well, terrific. Well, thank you.
I'm sorry to be such a rush here.
No,
Excuse
that's
me.
all right. Well, if there's nothing else from Visit Bloomington, Jean, can you can you go through the convention center report?
Sure thing, Mike. It feels great to be getting back to normal here, and it has been incredibly busy for this whole first, so far in this first quarter. And of course, what we're comparing things to really is the last year that we felt like was a normal year for us, which is 2019. We had in 2021, we had a lot of.
Gene, Gene, I apologize. Is everyone else able to hear Gene? I'm getting a little bit of a warble echo. Is there something on your microphone, or where maybe that might be able to clear up?
I don't know. I did all the settings when I checked in and went through all the audio settings. Everything was set to automatic.
Okay.
Sorry about
I'm
that.
sorry for interrupting.
Felicia's out today with a group that we have here from Main Street America and some other DBI members. So they are all over downtown learning more about how we do things here. And as I was saying, our last year that we considered normal was 2019. We had 553 events during that year. And then in 2021, skipping over 2020, 2021, we had 403, which was in March's minutes from the last CDC meeting. Although that did include Monroe County Health Department, Red Cross, Civic, time to face events here. So not really business events and things that are typically used to hosting. Looking ahead for the rest of 2022, January and February brought 67 events to the convention center, and we also got back to having 3 large community events here all in February, which are the Bloomington Music Expo, the bridal show, and the Super Bowl fundraiser. I think everybody felt them really to get back to those fun, all 3 of those really fun events. We have another 148 events in the system right now from March through December, including 13 conferences. And I am thrilled with that. It just feels like the news that we all need right now. One conference has already been completed, and that was in February with Ivy Tech. That was over 200 people for a couple of days coming from around the state. As did Ivy Tech, I foresee that a lot of these conferences that we have for the rest of the year are going to have online components, virtual tie-ins to what's happening in person. So anyway, March, I have a large conference here that's spread out across, these 13 conferences are spread out across the entire year. Every month there's at least one. Some of them are large conferences from Ivy Conference organization. There's one in June, for example, 500 people for 2 days. That's an early childhood conference. We have some state conferences that are coming back to us. The Alliance of Indiana Rural Water will be here in July for 2 days, 150 people. The Indiana State Bar Association is here for their annual conference in September. Then in October, these are some of the larger ones. It's 250 people in October. This is the Midwest Medical Libraries Association. This is their 7th date change. So we are going to be really happy to finally get to welcome them here. They've been really patient. We've worked through all the challenges. I also have 5 conferences in the system right now for 2023, and including some that are actually finalized. That is really about it. What I really wanted to do was give everyone a measure of optimism with the number of large groups who have already booked their places to come back here. We're really looking forward to that. And we're sharing these things out with Sean and also Laura at the Bloomington as we get inquiries and things get planned so that we can really complete the cycle and get them booked into go.
Great. It's good to see that that type of volume and recovery, and I know and probably the rest of us can attest to that as well too. But my building is busier than it has been, and I'm sure starting tomorrow it'll be even busier, even busier. So as we keep moving forward. Any questions for Gene or for the Convention Center? I did see that we did get the work done on the sidewalks and the entry from the parking lot. So that's been completed and looks nice. Looks like it belongs. Okay. If there are no other questions or comments for the for DBI, we can go ahead and move to claims approval. I'll go ahead and start to throw those back up on the screen. And Marcia will help us with our roll call votes. Hold on just a sec. Must admit I'm a spreader, so I've got stuff all over the place. Okay, here we go. Okay. Get to the right one. Okay, our first claim today is our first claim is second quarter operating funds for Visit Bloomington. This, of course, is quarterly, comes around 4 times a year. The amount on this is $426,244.75. Any questions or comments on the claim? This does come out of our general fund. Okay. Seeing or hearing none, is there a motion to approve the claim?
Motion.
And is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Marcia, can you move us to a roll call vote, please?
Campbell,
Yes.
Hanlon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Great. Moving to our next claim. Bear with me. Here we go. For first quarter professional fees, Marcia Roach and her work for this body, $147.50. Any questions or comments on this claim? Seeing and hearing none? Oh,
Money well spent.
money well
I move
spent.
for approval.
Awesome. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion in a second. Marcia, may you move us to a roll call vote, please?
Campbell,
Yes.
Hanlon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. Move to our next claim. And this is for second quarter operating expenses for Convention Center Management to DBI in the amount of $86,802. This helps with operating expenses for the Convention Center. Any questions or comments on this claim? Seeing and hearing none. Can I have or is there a motion to accept the claim?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion and a second. Marcia, can you move us to a roll call vote, please?
Campbell,
Yes.
Hanlon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Awesome. Claim passes. And then our last claim that's before us today is the quarterly loan payments on April the 1st for land and property and convention center loan for the past renovation of the facility. That's in the amount of $159,000. This will come out of the debt service fund that's collected through innkeeper's tax, and there's sufficient money in the funds in order to pay this claim. Is there any questions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, is there a motion to approve the claim?
Motions.
Second.
Motion and a second. I was gonna say, I don't know what's gonna happen if you guys don't approve, because the bank's still kind of want their money.
I was just waiting for Sean to make a
Well, yeah,
motion.
you're being polite. I got it. Okay, I got you. Marcia, could you move us to a roll call vote, please?
Campbell,
Yes.
Hanlon,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
Iverson.
Yes.
Great. And I think that is all the claims that are before us today. I do know that there's a potential future capital maintenance request that'll be coming before us probably during our next meeting for some work to be done on the visitor center. So Mike, I know you'll bring that to us when you got more information on that, but just general upkeep and facility care like we do for both the convention center and the visitor center and those properties that we're responsible for. So I think that's all the information I have on claims. Any new business? I have something. So you'd heard Mike and Peter mention about Eric Spoonmore and the Chamber of Commerce and really working towards helping the city and the county find common ground for the convention center expansion and to stress the importance of that for business and hospitality development and economic development. And so there have been some discussions. It sounds like things are starting back up again, which is very encouraging after having a roughly 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic. So it's fun to see all the economic data starting to bounce back and tax collections starting to bounce back, which are lagging indicators of business. But I'm for the first time in a while encouraged about this process. So Peter had mentioned the working group meeting, I think on the 8th. Is that right, Peter?
That's correct. It's at 5:30 p.m.
Okay. So as commission members on the CVC, you're certainly welcome to come. Would love it if you could, or you had something to say, or if you want to hear more about it. I intend to be there as well too, just to help answer any questions that might come up just from a financial consideration of where we are with existing debt on the convention center and existing business. And I know Mike and Talisha can speak to those things strongly. So any questions regarding that, I invite you, Sean, you and Natalie both to be there. So,
Thank you.
oh, and Peter just put the Zoom link in if you want to join remotely. So,
Peter, I will be there. Kate didn't respond, so I don't plan on, having any time for us to do anything, but I definitely will attend to be able to answer a question or something. Maybe get that scheduled for a future time.
right.
Mike, I think that's a really good idea. Have this first one with Eric and then the next one with you.
Great.
Okay. And that's the new business I know. So, any other new business? Any old business? Things we just want to beat to death again? No?
No.
Good. Those are never the funnest parts. Okay, I think we do have one guest attendee, and wanted to open this up for any public comment if they did want to, any comments or questions from other attendees or from other members of the panel. Okay. Well, it seems like we're in good shape. Again, this is being recorded, so you should be able to see this on the Monroe County site if you want to go back and relive this moment. So other than that, I'm going to let you out of here 16 minutes early. Weather's not too bad. Why don't you go out and take a walk outside? Because you got nothing really planned until 2 o'clock. Okay?
Who are you talking to?
What? This meeting is going to go until 2, right? I'm talking to you, Natalie. I wanna
All
know
right,
about
then.
your well-being, right? Not just the business side of Natalie Walker, but your whole self.
She's
Okay.
probably already ran like 15 miles today. She was up at
That's why
5.
you can't see me.
She was up at 5 o'clock, I'm sure. Now, yeah.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for a great meeting. I appreciate you joining today. And we'll catch you later. Thanks.
Bye, you guys.